What's up, everybody? This is the Real Radio Podcast. Welcome back to another episode. For the people who are coming here for the first time, subscribe to our channel and follow us on Spotify at Real Radio Podcast. Right? So, news getting into our desk is that Diddy was yesterday in Monday evening was arrested by FBI in Manhattan, New York, for charges that had been drawn against him back, which that his wife had reported him he had assaulted her sexually, and also various streams of women reported on the same, according to ABC News, right? So yesterday, Diddy was arrested by the FBI while in New York so that he can be taken to custody, and investigation, or rather data that will be very instrumental in the conviction of the case, will be acquired. That is, they are going to look into his gadgets, laptops, phones, all the devices he uses for communication, because those are the ones they are going to use to link him to people who had charges with him, right? So the thing is, Diddy is an American rapper. Also, his legal name is Sean John Combs, formerly Puff Daddy or P Diddy, right? Was not convicted. He is facing accusations of domestic violence, right? And this is something that we have seen in our society all over the world. For our African setup, it has been categorized as something normal, something that, when maybe for women who are most victims, when they report to their parents, they tell them to just insist with the marriages or relationship, right? And it ends so bad, because I cannot imagine somebody whom you sleep with, somebody whom you share so many things with, okay, somebody whom you get and then expect to get through the whole life, they get to harm you physically later on. It is so ridiculous, right? And we have had many cases from before, and so many men are in prisons on the same. And the direction Diddy is taking, if anything, right? God forbid, if anything, what he did was right, then he's going to face the charges. We understand the cases of R. Kelly who have been pedophiles. We understand how it has gone for them. Their names have been deleted completely from the leading music streams, from the best channels for getting content, because it creates a thought of enmity between an artist to the public. Because when you do against what the people expect of you, because once you are an artist, you are the society's mirror. You need to reflect on things that make sense, things that respect every class, respect every individual. And the accusations, but for Diddy, the accusations are yet to be solidated, as the court is yet to make judgment on the allegations presented, right? And also, we heard that he was taken to anger management classes, which is a very instrumental course throughout the correction, or rather, when you are charged of cases like domestic violence, fights, robbery, because you involve a lot of hate, you involve a lot of blood sucking, you are after somebody's pain, right? So anger management classes is such a good idea, is such a good uh, step, because what will happen is that when you are taken to anger management classes, you are going to face intolerable characters, and now you're expected that you keep calm and then make decisions based on how relaxed you are, right? So anger management classes are some things are is something that should be introduced into most of the African countries, or rather countries all over the world, because yes, in the constitution we are going to have all that mentioned, that now for people with these accusations, or people with these mistakes, should be undertaken certain courses, right? But it is not going to be enacted, and our governments need to come up with methodologies on improving the characters and shaping the society in a way that it seems to be a correction of function, right? Not a punishment. And for Didi, this would be very instrumental, because when we first hear that it is the fiancé who reported the case, and now the news is that many women have reported on the same, it is so ridiculous. All we get to do, let's keep calm, let's not subject ourselves into things that we cannot control, harming people. Now we find that you are going to be in prison because of a 5 second act, right? It is so wrong. It is something that will get you in a very bad place, right? And so the concept is, right, away from Diddy, our African setup has been put in a way that, especially for marriages and especially for women, now you are going to have somebody who has married you, or maybe you are going to have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, but in one way or another you are going to collide because, let's be very honest, uh, most genuine relationships must have entangles, right? Like, you see how the little scuffles make the relationship lively, make the people to feel like, yeah, okay, so we can challenge one another in a positive way, right? Because after that, now you are going to sit down and reflect on what you are doing. The little scuffles really make the relationship so interesting, but not to an extent where now you are harming somebody, you are causing them a torture, you are causing them mental breakdown because maybe they depend on you 100%, or maybe they fear facing their lonely lives, like living alone by themselves. It is so ridiculous, and it is something that for the African setups we have had. You know, it is so confusing at times when we expect that the people who should be guiding us to do better are the ones now whom we hear are doing worse, right? In terms of how they treat women, right? How they shape them, how they make them to be submissive and be people who you don't even collide with, right? We have had cases of old men harming women. We have had cases of young people also harming their girlfriends. Imagine somebody you do not have any connection with, but you are just meeting in the name of boyfriend girlfriend, right? And it is my suggestion, the girlfriend and boyfriend relationship should be formalized also. Until then, that now you no longer have to be dating, and now you get into courtship, also another formalization. Courtship should also be formalized, and now before we dive into marriage, right? That is an ideology but should be worked on, should be done. And then now we get to know when somebody makes a mistake, like let's say for example, a girlfriend you hear has stabbed his boyfriend in Dhika. Now how are we going to relate? What was the connection between these people? And then now we get to substantiate everything, and then now laws will follow because laws have been formulated from cases emerging. And the right way to take course in this against domestic violence, let everybody be accountable on their deeds. Girlfriend, boyfriend is not a formal setup. We all know that. When this harm happens, now you're going to report to the police station and you're going to be asked, who is this guy to you? Now you're going to tell them, this is my boyfriend. Now, how is the case going to turn? It is the girl who harmed a boy, right? Unlike marriage, which is the wife harmed the husband, right? So most of these things should be formalized. I don't know how you think, but let me know in the comment section. Should we formalize girlfriend boyfriend relationships, and then now we get to know who is who in what's life? Because we have also had people dating for 6 years, but they take themselves nowhere, right? They don't marry, and now I cannot imagine a girl at 20 dating somebody for 6 years, right? So moving on, another news that got before us was that now Quiver Kilimani is a clubbing zone and an entertainment joint with lots of nyama and also alcohol. Now it is a club that is so super because I have been there not once, not twice, not thrice. It is so entertaining, but and it is along Ngong Road, but its setup is around residential areas, and the residents of Ngong Road near the club have reported to the government, and it is alleged that the Kilimani joint will no longer play music during their services because now the residents are going to make it to be closed, and you know how people are going to lose jobs, how the owner of the club is now going to lose money. But this is the thing, I think clubs without music have never performed, and they will never perform, because even restaurants have TVs. Even how do we call these joints? These joints, how do they call them? This one's hidden gems. Even hidden gems have some pipe music from sounding from the corner. So I am not going to imagine a club where people expect to go and make noise and do the nastiest things, because now every weekend is the time to get off the bad breath throughout the week, because most of the people are the 8 to 5 people who work. And now when you get that during the entertainment they are not going to get the best music, it's going to be ridiculous. And not long ago that the club is going to lose customers, and then eventually it is going to be closed unless there is some sort of management to get it back. Some management, like let's say soundproofs. You see, in somewhere, let's say places, so many places have clubs on 12th floor, 10th floor, but the soundproofs you cannot know until you get in that club. This is something Quiver Kiliman should look into, and then we get to have an orderly entertainment, right? But the netizens have been so controversial on the same, because we do not want to imagine what happens when you're clubbing without music, right? All right, so let's check on which other story was before us. Yeah. Also, Kikau Place, the Lavington branch, was demolished amid allegations that the owner of the club used to sell cocaine to students. I don't know the students, but now it is alleged that the Kikau Place was demolished, and the demolition was done by people whom I do not know, because I've not looked into the news that much. But it is also ridiculous, because when we have a place like Kikau Place, the investment that has been put there, how it is filled with glitz and glamour, how when you get there you feel lively, you feel like you're in a different world, how it has been tinted. It is something that we really need to look into and know how do these people run these clubs, because the complaints grow every day. This is not new. The story about Cow Place is not new. How they are doing it is not new. We have had also other joints. Which one was this? There is a club somewhere, which one? In Nakuru. Yeah? There was a club in Nakuru which had sexual assaults for women. Now you fail to understand what goes on, and then now the head strikes before the owners, because they are the ones who know the operations within their premises, right? Even though they really do not know, but we take them to know, because it is their facilities. They need to know what's going on there, and the government through the Directorate of Criminal Investigation should look into this matter as as urgently as possible, because now if we are going to do this repeatedly, we are going to have people just normalizing doing something bad, because they'll be punished by the public through maybe demolition. And you see, somebody who deals with cocaine, for example, is not somebody who is not moneyed. They are moneyed, or maybe, and for some, they open these posh places maybe to clean their laundered money. And now, because if you are operating, if you are laundering money, let's say like 200 million, 200 million is money you can launder in 6 months, right? Using a very good setup like a food joint, an entertainment club, let's say a fashion joint, let's say, or jewelry shop, right? And the government should look into before giving these people the proper license, because the tinting that happens in these clubs, how they are pimp, the walls have been decorated so perfectly, the lights there, they give us some sort of stardom that you don't really get anywhere, or rather every place. And this is very costly, by the way. So how do they get the money to set up such premises, right? So the government should look into the matter and get the exact information on the same, right? So that is it for this episode. Let's get into the next episode and see what we have. Yeah, all you gotta do, listen, Thank you for listening to our Spotify, and also subscribe to our YouTube for timely updates. This is Onyato. I am your host, and bye.